Alright, so I wanted to make a quick video on the VFC 416, almost like an update. I don't know if you guys have seen my video that I made a while in the past. I was pretty much talking about how I got the gun to work, which, you usually want your guns to do. This is an airsoft gun, before I piss off too many people. So that. But pretty much, I might have mentioned it in the video that I was talking about, but the gun has never been the best with accuracy or consistency in terms of hop-up. Like, the hop-up on this gun has never been good, and, I've kind of tried a lot of different variations using, like, WA hop-up chambers and other VFC. Anyway, one user named Nugent GL put out a video a while back talking about how you can actually take a VSR-10 bucking, something that you might find in a pistol like this, a Marui, and put it in your 416 for VFC. And I tried it out, and it's working wonders. Now, this guy Nugent GL said, he was getting like 270 feet of range, which, if you guys don't know, for an airsoft gun is pretty good. I'm not getting 270 feet of range, but I'm getting a gun that's shooting consistently like it should. So, I'm going to make a video here. We've got two mags loaded with, I think, either .3 or .28s. We're just going to be showing off the gun a little bit. Let's see, temperature is about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. We're using propane. And we're not really going for, super accuracy. I mean, it's airsoft gun, but yeah. This is, a lot of people say that VFC is not that good of a company, but, with all the upgrades that they've done, like the new bulk carrier group, I'll actually take that out after. They're becoming, one of the better, comparable to a WE. Anyway, I'm going to be aiming for the right white target there. So that one went about a foot and a half to the right. Another one to the right. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Because I'm using the Tokyo Marui VSR-10 bucking, I didn't have a barrel for that, except for my old Tokyo Marui barrel. So right now, I have a 3-inch barrel, like, about yay big. So once I actually either modify the the pre-existing barrel I had for this gun, which was a nice barrel, it was a PDI, or it's a 03 inner barrel and cost a good amount of money. Once I either modify that or buy a new inner barrel that's meant for a VSR-10, then I might, I'm going to see a increase in velocity and then potentially accuracy too. So something worth noting. I'm going to try fully automatic, crossing my fingers here, and see if it works. That was pretty good. So one thing I love about this gun is that it locks back on the last shot, period. And I know I usually don't use punctuation, when we're talking in sentences, but this gun, one of my biggest gripes with gas blowbacks is that they don't lock back on the last round. This gun has never had a problem with that. Unless something really big is going wrong. You can fire it without the entire front end, the fore end off, and it's still going to work fine in that aspect. I'm going to put a new mag in here, and we're going to go downrange to a farther range and show you guys how the effective range of the gun is. Lots of ranges there. Let's go. Alright, so we're at a range of about 150 feet now, give or take. Just going to show you guys how the gun's shooting right now. Just aiming into that patch. Almost overhopping. In fact, it is overhopping. Oh, excuse me, we have a jam here. Not a jam, misfeed. Check that out. So the follower on the mag, in the mag, is not a... There we go. It's not working too well. See if it happens again. Nope, all good. Okay. So yeah, range is looking pretty good. Let's take a couple more shots here. I'm gonna watch out for the ricochets. Alright. Yeah, so we're going to go back to the table here and disassemble the gun. I just want to show you guys a couple things. Alright, so we actually have a SR-10, which you guys don't know is a airsoft gun made by KWA. Pin right here, because I actually lost, imagine that, the original pivot pin, is it, for the 416. So one thing is VFC, unlike some other companies, has been consistently, you know, not necessarily upgrading, but making improvements to their system. And while they're not like saying send back your gun and we'll you know, install these improvements for free, they are offering the parts and components for pretty cheap. I mean, this entire bolt carrier group you see here is like 20 bucks, which is pretty decent. It's not made out of steel or anything, but what it does have is a steel reinforcement right here where the bolt catch engages the bolt carrier group. Now the original bolt, I gotta tighten that. The original bolt for the 416 that didn't have that actually lasted us a pretty long amount of time, but eventually kind of wore out. So that's a good upgrade. They've also been updating their nozzles. I mean, originally VFCs were crap, as far as I can tell. I mean, this was one of the earlier production run 416s, but there were ones, of course, before this one that were far worse. They made a couple improvements in 2012, apparently, and then after that, they've been, again, consistently making improvements to their system. I'm going to try to take apart the upper here, show you guys the pop chamber. So the modification is actually pretty simple. You just have to, well, for me, buy a VSR-10 bucking, and you know, assuming you have a Dremel, it's not going to be too much of a problem. I don't know if you guys can see that, but in there is a purple 9-ball bucking, and it works pretty well because the bucking itself has a kind of I don't know if this is the right word, conical like shape, so it almost like a cone inward, so that helps with the feeding. It's not like an AEG bucking where there's like lips sticking out. So there's, I mean, so far we haven't had any trouble with the feeding. You guys saw the fully automatic fire, which worked pretty well. Nothing spectacularly wrong in the lower receiver. I'm not a big fan of the trigger, I guess, because when you put it in safety, the trigger doesn't go back on its own. Sometimes it does. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Definitely going to be putting a review about this gun out later on, more in depth, that is. But yeah, I mean, as of now, it's definitely one of the best gas blowbacks that I've used. Very gas efficient. Again, always locks back on the last round, and now looks like it's working pretty well in terms of accuracy and range. So if you guys are thinking about buying a gas blowback rifle, highly consider the VFC 416. Kind of not as dramatic when the thing is in two pieces. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching.